Weight loss can be tricky sometimes. Some diets claim you can lose up to 40 pounds in a few weeks, while others claim it takes months. Is losing fat in such a short amount of time possible? Well, if you are willing to go the extra mile, then there are a few things you can do to speed up the process, especially if you're already practicing intermittent fasting. In today's video, we will go over 5 intermittent fasting tricks you can start immediately to trigger the fat loss mechanisms in your body to run faster. Do you think you are performing any of these already? Make sure to watch until the end of the video and let us know in the comments section. Number 5. Stick to foods that won't spike your blood sugar, insulin level. Reducing your insulin levels is the first step to increasing the rate of burning fat. Even after breaking your fast, you will need to ensure that your insulin levels are low. Start by getting rid of empty-calorie foods such as sweets, junk, and highly processed foods. These foods are referred to as empty calories since they offer high calorie levels while delivering few to zero nutrients to your body. Instead, focus on indulging in wholesome foods. These are the foods that are rich in dietary fiber and help in regulating your blood sugar levels. In most cases, these foods are available outside the aisles of a grocery store and not in the inner aisles. The other vital factor you will need to understand is the effects of carbohydrates on your blood sugar level. When compared to other macronutrients, carbohydrates are said to have a significant impact on your insulin level. There are also some dairy products known to have a similar effect on your blood sugar levels as carbs. On the other hand, proteins are known to have a moderate impact on blood sugar level, while fat has the least impact. By decreasing carb intake and dairy products during your feasting period, you will help in enhancing the fat burning rate. If you find the cravings for dairy products and carbs to be too much, try consuming a large number of vegetables or other foods that are high in fiber to keep you full for longer and keep those cravings at bay. In addition, focus on carbohydrates with a low glycemic index to curb blood sugar spikes. If hunger persists, you might consider having protein as well as fatty foods. Number 4. Start keto fasting. This is another incredible method of enhancing the fat-burning process. This form of fasting features a similar application to the previous tip. Keto fasting combines fasting along with a ketogenic diet, resulting in a less flexible diet. This dietary practice features an inevitable split of macronutrients. However, it remains highly effective when it comes to burning fat and reducing weight. Incorporating this form of fasting into your daily routine is relatively easy. When practicing keto fasting, you will only need to set a form of intermittent fasting and a feasting window that can be accomplished regularly. An excellent example is breaking your fast at 1 o'clock and resuming at around 9 o'clock. During this 8-hour fasting period, you will have to reduce your carbohydrate intake significantly to less than 5% to 10% of the recommended dietary allowance, or RDA. As a result, you will have to stay away from starchy vegetables and grains. When it comes to protein, its intake will be limited to around 15% to 20% of the recommended dietary allowance. This is a vital point to keep in mind since protein is also considered insulinogenic. The fat intake, on the other hand, must be the highest. It should be 75% of the total calorie consumption per day. The significant split in macronutrients makes it relatively easy to maintain low blood sugar levels during both feasting and fasting periods. Fortunately, it is not mandatory to adhere to a ketogenic diet consistently to experience weight loss when practicing intermittent fasting. Having a few days of ketogenic fasting and going back to your standard fasting approach during other days will facilitate the fat-burning process throughout the week. Although it seems counterintuitive to increase fat intake during your eating window, fat plays a significant role in weight loss because it allows you to remain full for an extended period, while the high fat content is used as an alternate energy source. Number 3. Extending fasting length. Since fasting is considered an effective method of burning excess fat and reducing insulin levels, the more you remain in a fasting state, the more weight and fat you burn. After getting used to short intermittent fasting protocols, you should consider extending your fast to about 24 to 48 hours. You can also try reducing the eating window from 8-hour to 4 hours, and as time progresses, you can move on to eating a single meal per day every day at the same time. Once you get used to this form of fasting, you can extend your fasting period by going for about 36 to 48 hours without eating. Although this form of fasting sounds extremely difficult, with experience and consistency, the whole process becomes relatively easy. The best thing about fasting is that the longer the fast is, the larger the calorie deficit is. Therefore, by incorporating this form of fasting into your lifestyle, you will significantly reduce insulin levels, and in the process, allowing you to burn more fat within a short period. Number 2. Performing fasted workouts. Combining exercise and fasting will speed up the rate at which your body burns excess fat and weight. However, fasted training has been under fire by mainstream fitness communities on how it is not effective in burning more fat compared to the standard training during a fed state. Fortunately, the idea that fasted training is not ideal for burning excess fat resulted from flawed studies. The primary reason these studies are considered flawed was that participants indulged in a meal replacement shake after performing fasted workouts. This form of dieting led to an increase in insulin levels among the participants, which stopped the fat-burning process. A study is yet to be done that compared individuals on continued fasting training to individuals that train fed. Therefore, the studies that opposed the benefits of performing fasted workouts made it challenging for participants to have experience of fasted workouts only, which is not consuming replacement shakes after exercising. Irrespective of that, various studies show the benefit of fasted training. One particular study involved 28 men who were divided into 3 groups. The first group did not exercise, while the second group exercised after having carbs-rich meals, and the last group skipped meals before exercising. After the study, researchers were stunned to find out that at almost every level, from insulin levels to body composition and the amount of fat in the body, was either gained or lost. Individuals who practiced fasted training were more successful in burning excess fat than the remaining 2 groups. Various studies, including a meta-analysis where more than 270 individuals, pointed to the importance of fasted training. With fasted training, you will be able to shed more fat, which is then used as an energy source when glycogen stores are depleted. When you continue fasting after the fasted training, you will enhance fat mobilization and burn more fat over the course of one day. Number 1. Start resistance training. One of the most effective methods of exhausting your glycogen stores in the body is through performing resistance training. This method is relatively challenging and it will bring the muscles close to failure. When fasting, you will end up efficiently depleting your glycogen stores. However, by pushing yourself progressively and performing resistance training, your body will end up exhausting the so-called glycogen gas tank. As the glycogen levels decrease, the body is forced to look for alternate energy sources, forcing it to use fat. Fasting while resistance training will also help in building more muscles and even allow the body to store a higher amount of glycogen in the muscle cells instead of fat cells. Therefore, if you're looking to speed up the weight loss process and boost your muscles, you should consider incorporating weight training into your regular fasting program. While incorporating these tricks will burn fat faster, it's important to make sure you're first and foremost incorporating the following 2 key factors. Otherwise, your fat-burning speed will not be optimal. Number 1. Get more sleep. Various studies have shown that more sleep enhances the fat-burning process among fasting individuals. One study involving 68,000 women showed that individuals who sleep for 5 or fewer hours a night for a period of 16 years are more likely to add weight as opposed to those who slept for an extended period. Although everybody requires a different amount of sleep, Various studies have shown that sleeping for at least 7 hours offers more benefits when it comes to weight loss. A common misconception is thinking your muscles grow during a weight training session. While they do visually, they do not actually retain that size unless you are getting adequate amounts of sleep, since this is where the recovery process begins. Weight training is the process of breaking muscles down, and in the recovery stage is where they build themselves back up. If you begin incorporating trick number 5, make sleeping a priority in your regimen to maximize muscle gain and fat loss. Number 2. Consume primarily healthy meals. Although most intermittent fasting protocols do not restrict food groups, eating junk, including sweets and highly processed foods, is associated with weight gain even among fasting people. Focus on having wholesome foods for about 85% to 90% of the time, with the remaining portion dedicated to the flexibility of some of your favorite meals. So there you have it. Intermittent fasting is very flexible and ideal for burning fat. Therefore, by combining fasting with some of the tips discussed in these videos, you will speed up the whole process. Do you know any additional tricks to burn fat faster? Share with us your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoyed today's video, check out this related video to see more. Until next time,